In this video, I want to explore with you how to reach freedom, which is our natural birthright. Most of us do not feel free, but rather constrained by our social, physical, educational, financial and other limitations. And then there are also the many religions that have bound and confined us. Let's step back from the tapestry of life and look again at the big picture to see what has imprisoned us.
Let's look at the two realities. Here we have the absolute reality, our true home, occupied by immortal divine spiritual beings who are the divine children of God and to whom God gave total free will. This is your and mine origin. A long time ago, a certain number of these spiritual beings left this absolute reality to create their own heaven, their own creation. They fell into the temporary or relative reality of time and space, and of contrasts like good and evil, and the law of cause and effect, also called the law of karma. This temporary reality consists of 7 levels or spheres, and each one has 7 sublevels. So from the top down, the levels are called mercy, love, patience, earnestness, wisdom, will, and order. How did these divine beings leave the absolute reality? They acted against the law of love, and with that they lowered their frequency and burdened themselves. They became souls, which is a spiritual being enveloped by soul burden. Depending on their individual soul burden, they landed in any of these 7 spheres. The more soul burden, the further away from the absolute reality, from love and from the life-giving central sun. Therefore, here in the lowest level we have our material cosmos, which is just crystallized light ether. By now, most souls in these purification or preparation spheres have recognized that their departure from the absolute reality was a huge mistake, and they are striving to return back home, the realm of bliss and love. In these spiritual realms, they are gently guided back by teaching angels who have joined them from the absolute reality and give them spiritual instructions and support. But this is a very slow and arduous process, particularly for those that have fallen very deep, like in these 4 lower purification spheres. Therefore, out of love, God gave these souls in these lower spheres a unique opportunity to speed up their journey home and clear up their karma in a very short and powerful way. We can call it a fast track to home. It is planet Earth, a school for souls of the lower 4 realms, who wish to speed up their return through a very intensive schooling and purification process. But as you have seen in my video, The Amazing Earth School, it is not without risks and temptations, as we will see. So let's have an example. Let's say this is us here, down at the lowest level, and we desperately want to return back to the pure heavens. Therefore, we have accepted this unique divine offer to visit the Earth School. Before we incarnate to planet Earth, we discuss with guardian spirits what our main objectives should be in our forthcoming earthly life, like forgiveness, making amends, expiating karmic burdens, learning to love or to be compassionate, or other goals. We are also advised by the guardian spirits about the pitfalls and dangers of such a visit. Once we have agreed to incarnate into the physical body, our journey to planet Earth begins. So we take on a physical body and incarnate here on Earth. Here we are now. Our visit to this Earth School is very short. The length of our stay varies, but at the moment it is only for an average of 25,000 days. That's all. After our physical death, which is our graduation day, we return back to the spiritual worlds. If we have fulfilled our spiritual goals, we might then be attracted to a higher spiritual sphere than before, according to the law of attraction. And here our schooling continues, but at a slower rate. Again, after a while we might want to go back to the Earth School for another intensive drill to purify ourselves, like this. Another very short visit, and thereafter we are back in the spiritual worlds for a much longer time, but our sense of time up here is not the same as on Earth. And so it continues. Many of us had hundreds or even thousands of incarnations. To continuously return to the Earth School is not the goal. But because every time we have been on Earth, we may leave behind unresolved issues or relationships or new karmic burden that can eventually call us back to this planet via another incarnation. And each incarnation can be in a different era, in different culture, in another race, another religion, another country, and so on. It all depends where the souls are with whom we still have to clear up some karma. Most of these incarnations are very ordinary, as the past life regressionist Dr. Helen Warmbach stated in her extensive research book, Reliving Past Lives. In most of our lives, we have been peasants or average citizens, and not kings or queens or famous people. Like, for instance, in this incarnation, we might have lived in ancient Egypt as a prosperous farmer. In this one, maybe a proud African warrior. And in this one, as a gold digger in the American West. And here as a gay Anglican professor in England, and so on. Each life can be very different according to what we have to learn and clear up. But here is the important point of this video. Our true divine self and our soul within us are beyond these temporary earthly roles, programs, and conditions. Our soul is not black, white, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, or gay. These are only concepts and conditions that exists here on planet Earth. So in each of our incarnations, we can look very different and are sometimes the opposite type of person than we were before. We are playing many different roles on this earthly stage. As Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. Now we see that our life here on Earth is only a very, very short temporary visit, and Earth is not our true home. And the role we are playing here does no way reflect our true identity, which is immortal, divine, and free. We are cosmic beings. But what does it all have to do with freedom? Each time we incarnate, we are picking up, adapting, or mimicking the vibrations, thought patterns, programs, teachings, religions, and even diets of our environment, most importantly our parents. With time, we accept them without questioning them and believe that they are our own, but they never are. They were given to us by our family, teachers, religious or political leaders, and others who influenced and formed our early life, but are they really all good for us? As we probably have never questioned them, we identify with these adopted foreign beliefs without thinking. Encouraged by our ego, we might even self-label ourselves proudly as a Catholic, a Buddhist, a communist, a capitalist, and so on. We have fallen to what is generally called the herd mentality. The same applies to our physical body that we temporarily occupy here on Earth. Looking into the mirror, we may insist that we are black, brown, white, red, or yellow. But as I said, this has nothing to do with our spiritual self, our true identity. These are only our temporary earthly costumes, if you like, that we wear until each short performance here comes to an end. And maybe next time we might be wearing a suit of another skin color, maybe a skin color that we have intensely disliked or looked down on. The more we identify with these earthly concepts, beliefs, habits, vices, and physical conditions, the harder it is for us to progress in the spiritual worlds. These worldly concepts are limiting, binding, and stifle our spiritual progress. They are like a bad movie running continuously in our mind and can even drag us into another incarnation until we learn to let go of them completely. If we want to be free from anything that binds us and pulls us back to this planet for another incarnation, we are advised to sincerely question everything that we were taught, including our race, tribe, gender, and religion, and in many cases, even things like our diet. We may want to ask ourselves if that, what we so far have adopted from our environment, is truly in accordance with the highest form of love, the selfless, all-inclusive, unlimited, and unconditional love, which is our true essence and the very energy and vibration that we are made of. For instance, Would love believe that one group of people is more special and important than another group of people? Would love believe that others are less worthy because of their color of their skin, their religion, social status, their gender, their sexual orientation, their appearance, their background? Would love force others to kill other human beings? Would love bind people to religious teachings, dogmas, rituals, memberships, and hierarchies? Would love allow little girls or boys to be mutilated by circumcisions? Would love insist that women cover their faces or their hair? Would love teach eternal hell and eternal damnation? Would love want to kill animals for the pleasure of our palate? And the list goes on and on with what we have done to each other and to our Mother Earth. Once we start questioning all our dearly held beliefs, we will find that very few are truly based on selfless, unconditional, all-inclusive and unlimited love. Many of our adopted beliefs are rather based on fear, which our ego uses to make us feel special and important.
I know our ego rebels whenever we question our beliefs, habits, opinions. It wants to hold us in the comfortable grip of what we think we know, our tribe and people around us. But unless we question all these worldly concepts, programs and beliefs, we will not reach the nobility, purity and sovereignty of our immortal soul. But once we are ready, the divine spiritual world is here to help us in every step to freedom. Nothing is stronger than divinity, and divinity, God, desperately wants us to return home to freedom, which is our birthright. God is absolute freedom. He is the free spirit in all of us. Here are two books that are related to this topic. The first one is The Path of Forgetting and Find the Primordial Light in You. Both are by Gabriele. I will put links to both books under this video, and you can find more help on my website lifeexplained.com. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out on future videos.